Hi, have you ever wanted to be a tank? Are you tired of always getting insta-lock DPS? Are you tired of complaining that the DPS is not good? Are you tired of saying that our healers are dying too quick? Well, this is the right place for you, my friend, because today we are going to be talking about how to play the tanks. This is StewieLopez guide to playing tanks. What's going on, guys? StewieLopez here. Today we are going to be talking about the proper way, quote unquote proper way, to play each tank. If you guys don't know, I'm a tank main on Overwatch. Overwatch is a team-based game that relies on a team to play. Yes, I'm looking at some of you DPS members out there that don't use tank. Fuck, I can't even talk right. I'm talking to you, some of you DPS guys who think they can solo carry a team. That's not how it fucking works. If you don't know I'm a tank main, you honestly just missed one of my videos. Dope ass thing anyway. Anyways, guys, today we're gonna be talking about the 6 tanks. I say 6 because Brigitte is not a fucking tank. This bitch is not a tank. She is not a tank. I don't care what Jeff says. She's a healer. She's a support. She has the little fucking cross thing right here. The support. She's part of a support. The only exception to not being a support is Symmetra. Think they're gonna do a rework on her to become a defense hero. That's what I heard. Anyways, guys, today we are going to be talking about each tank. There are 6 tanks in total, 3 main tanks and 3 off tanks. If you don't know what those are, I'll explain them to you. My perspective of a main tank involves a shield. It involves some type of shield and body blocking. Off tank helps that main tank combos. Then the off tank could also be a body blocker. There's one guy in particular who's a body blocker. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna be talking about the tank rows and each tank and do's and don'ts of a tank, so you guys could know from an experienced tank main myself. I've been playing this game for a while now. I love and hate Overwatch sometimes. This game, it's addicting. I can't stop playing it no matter how many times I win or lose. It's always fun. It's a fun game, but teammate and coordination ruins the fucking game sometimes. Like, you get bad teammates, or you get teammates that don't call anything, or I've gotten plenty of teammates who go silent, and if we lose, they'll call me trash tank. I'm like, what? Dude, boy, you need to shut the fuck up. Tanks are supposed to be the body blockers. They're supposed to be there to protect the DPS and healers. They're not necessarily damage. Some heroes can do some damage. Some heroes could wipe out some people, and I'll explain that with each hero that I think that team wipes people. Me, I'm a tank main, but I could flex support as well. I could play Mercy, Mora, and Zen. I can't really play Lucio. I used to play Lucio a lot back in the day. I think season 3. I'm out of practice with DPS because everyone always insta-locks DPS on comp, so I never get the chance to DPS. That's the reason why I take the tank role, because a lot of people don't like playing tanks for some reason. They'd rather play DPS. And some people do like to play the tank role. Props to you, fellow tank members. What's up? Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm talking way too much now. Let's get straight into what you all came here for. How to play each tank. Our first tank, D.Va. D.Va, she's my favorite tank out of all of them, as you can tell right here. Shouts out to Eric to getting me this, and then Miguel gave me the little Zarya. D.Va, she is one of the off tanks. And when I mentioned off tank earlier, off tank doesn't really get involved in like group battles. She can get into a group battle, but that's the thing. If you get into a group battle, she loses her mech quickly. And the do's of D.Va. Ever since the big defense matrix nerf, her defense matrix got decreased a lot. So, to the do's with the defense matrix, eat ults. Well, either ways, D.Va's matrix is supposed to be used as a way to help other, like, I use defense matrix to eat ults and to help our healers, because what if a Mercy's rezzing? It's a key res that you need. You defense matrix in front of the Mercy and she rezzes the person like that. It's really great. Her mini rockets are meant to be like a final blow. They're supposed to be damage. Like if a DPS is approaching like an enemy Hanzo and you can't really help. Hanzo's really low. You use the mini rockets to take him out, or you can use the mini rockets to do some damage and have a Reaper finish him off. Anyways, I think that the mini rockets or micro rockets are used as a final blow. They should not be used to just damage out of nowhere whenever you get it. You're supposed to use them accurately. Please, for the love of fuck, don't mini rocket a Zarya bubble. That charges Zarya so quickly, and then Zarya's gonna be a major problem for there. And I consider her blast, her little thing, it's a getaway tactic. It's a getaway tactic, or approach a Pharaoh in the sky. You never want to use it when approaching a group. Don't approach a group. You're gonna get annihilated as D.Va. The only way you approach a group is you engage the attack. You engage the attack, and then the other people are right behind you. You gotta have people right behind you. And I forgot to mention this before. All the tanks ults are, to me, are crowd control. And I'll explain each of their crowd control roles. But there's one exception to the crowd control. I will mention the crowd control after. I guess you can call it crowd control, but I'll explain it after when I get to this tank. But for now, we are focusing on D.Va. D.Va's ults, self-destruct. She ejects out of her mech, and it explodes. It takes like a few seconds, I think 3 seconds to actually launch and explode. There's many ways you could approach the D.Va bomb. There's many combos you could do with the D.Va bomb, mainly with tanks. Tanks help her D.Va bomb become strong, and I will tell you which tanks that are. They are Reinhardt and Zarya. Reinhardt and Zarya are perfect combos with D.Va. Reinhardt's Earth Shatter can help, and then Zarya's Graviton helps the D.Va. And also, there's the Sombra that you can launch the D.Va mech up in the air, and then have Sombra hack them. They're probably gonna like stay on the payload, around the payload, or hide behind a Reinhardt shield. And this is the don'ts of using her ult. I hate that the fact that the Overwatch League poisoned our young D.Va minds, because I'll explain why the pros do it. I see it, but please, for the love of God, for the love of Overwatch, don't use your ults to get your mech back. Please don't. Please, unless it's a dire situation, meaning that you lost your mech and it's overtime and you need to have your mech. Her mech is powerful. Baby D.Va's not the greatest. Like, the reason why they gave the Baby D.Va's great, because you get a second chance to get your mech back. But please don't use your mech, and please don't use your self-destruct to get your mech back. The only way you need to get, I would say, like, self-destruct on the objective and then do that to scatter them. And that's one of the reasons why D.Va is a crowd control. Her ult's a crowd control thing, because she could have people C9 an objective, like a CC map, a control capture point, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. She could put her ult in a king. I call it King of the Hill, but I know it's a control. But and she could have people C9 meaning that they get off the objective. That's why it's a crowd control. If you do have any more comments or any more to add to the tanks, feel free to put in the comments. Just, yeah, that's it. But now we're moving on to our next tank, Orisa. Orisa is the newest tank. She's the latest tank of them all. I say she's different from the rest of the tanks because she does not have a crowd control ult. We're going to talk about her ult first before her abilities. Her ult is called Supercharger. Supercharger is kind of like Valkyrie, where Mercy does AoE. Whoever's close to the Supercharger is granted the damage boost. That's what the Supercharger's role is. The reason why I say that Supercharger is not a crowd control ult, because it doesn't really scatter people out of the way like the other ults do, or it doesn't hold them in one place, or it doesn't stop them in their tracks like the other ults we're going to be talking about, or pushes them away like some other ults we're going to be talking about as well. Her ult just grants damage boost, but you can say that it is kind of a crowd control. I would consider it almost a crowd control, but not a full crowd control as compared to the other ults, because the other ults either have the crowd control, meaning that the enemy players get away from the objective, stay in one spot, or you push them out of the way. That's what I consider crowd control. And Orisa's is not really. She grants damage boost to everybody around the facility or the circumference of her supercharger range. And yeah, that's why it's really effective. Do's is one way to use supercharger effectively. Put a shield in front of the supercharger or in front of a corner. Don't have it out open, because if you have that thing out open, it's easier for like a soldier or a Hanzo to take out that supercharger because it's exposed. Please don't have your supercharger exposed unless it's a dire emergency. Let's move on to her abilities. Orisa's abilities are Fortify, Halt, and her barrier, her shield. Halt is a mini graviton. How to use her graviton, how to use her mini graviton. I call it mini graviton. It's a Halt. It's Halt. Her ability, that thing is called Halt. Basically, people, it's a little ball. She shoots out a little ball, and people around the area follow where that ball is. Say, for example, this is a soldier. Halt's right here. It goes to that. For that, Halt could be used for so many things. And how I use Halt is that if our Hanzo ults and they run away, I put a Halt into the middle of the dragons and push everyone towards it. And it gets a lot of kills. It's so effective against a Reinhardt. Reinhardt, dude, that shit's so funny when I get Reinhardt into a dragons. It helps out too. And I like to do it with the Diva Bomb. I like to do it with a lot of ults actually. her graviton's more of a crowd control than supercharger is. Yeah, it's really effective to, like, what if Lucio's running away from a Genji, or you halt the Lucio in and then he just strikes him after like that. And it's really combos, because Roadhog and Orisa combo each other so well. You halt and hook. You always see that when the pros play that. It's so satisfying to watch, and it's so satisfying to do. Her next ability, her barrier. It's a shield, basically just a shield. The do's of a shield, have people rely on the shield. You gotta choose Orisa when there's people who rely on the shield, such as Hanzo and such as I would say a Mercy as well, when she needs cover. A lot of the anchor takes, not the flankers. Please, if there's like a Sombra, a Genji, Mercy, and then there's a Moira, you guys have that on your team, don't choose Orisa, because they're not gonna really play on your shield. Unless you're really good at Orisa and you can hold it on your own. The reason why I say that is because no one's gonna be playing behind your shield. I would say yes, Widow helps out, Hanzo helps out, the snipers help out a lot. They will benefit from your shield. But if you have a Doomfist and a Genji, I wouldn't play that, because the only person who's gonna be playing behind your shield is yourself, and you will get game banged. You will get targeted because they see an Orisa playing by herself. You will get targeted. And then Fortify, it basically helps her reduce the damage she takes. Please don't use Fortify just for the hell of it. You got to use that Fortify to escape. I use Fortify to escape sometimes, because when people do damage, when people do go at you, at least you reduce the damage, and you can get away with some healing as well if Mercy pockets you. So please use her Fortify correctly. Please use her Fortify correctly. Those are my tips for Orisa. We're going on to our next tank, Reinhardt. Reinhardt, the first OG shield tank. I know Winston has a shield tank, a barrier, but we're just going to talk about it a little bit. Reinhardt's shield has a long health life as compared to Orisa's. Orisa's, I think, is like 800 health life, and then I think Reinhardt's is 2,000. I think it is 2,000. I don't remember the numbers. I think it is. Anyways, Reinhardt. How to play Reinhardt. You do what he says. I will be your shield. I see a lot of people misuse this tank, bro, and it pisses me off sometimes. I will talk about the abilities. His charge ability, a lot of people don't use it correctly. Charge helps you. I know Jeff said back then that it's not as used to mobility tactic, but it is. It helps you get to the point quicker. It helps you go with your team if you got scattered, or if you got separated from your team by dying, and it does help out. I see a lot of don'ts. Please don't do this. Don't charge in by yourself with a 6-man in there. You will get killed. You will. The only way you would do it is you have a Zarya or you have support. Zarya bubbles you and you take out that Brigitte or you take out that Bastion. It could be a good sacrifice. I see a lot of people, especially on fucking Hanamura, a lot of Reinhardts just charge into the point. They'll get somebody good, but they will get annihilated, and it leaves your team without a shield. Reinhardt's main objective is to be the shield. Oh, I also forgot to mention, Orisa's a main tank. And including that, Reinhardt's a main tank. The reason, there's a pattern there, right? Main tanks provide shields. Main tanks have a shield. Fire Strike. Fire Strike's a great way to get your ult charge quick, and it can go through shields. So you could get a Bastion, you could kill a Bastion behind an Orisa shield, and you could kill a Brigitte, and you could kill a lot. Just be careful, don't use your Fire Strike when you straight get it. Genji can deflect the Fire Strike, and Zarya's bubbles do get charged when you hit her with the Fire Strike when she has a bubble around her or a person. So please be careful. And then please, for the shield does have a health. It's 2,000 health. That shit goes down. Don't hold your shield until it dies, because like what I like to use, I would like to recharge it and say your shield dies and the enemy catches on, they'll throw a diva bomb right there and you're helpless. That shield is so viable, it could block diva bombs. And people get around, or people get behind your shield, and you could block a diva bomb. It's so satisfying to not have your teammates get killed by a diva bomb. Reinhardt's ult, the Earth Shatter. It's a CC, crowd control ult. Basically, Reinhardt slams his hammer to the floor, and people within his sight or range of the shatter, they get knocked down. They go on the floor, and even if you hit them with your hammer, they'll stay on the floor for a couple seconds. Guys, that is a crucial ult. They could be comboed with so many things. It could be comboed with Hanzo's ult. It could be comboed with Diva's ult. It could be comboed with so many ults, dude. It's really crucial. And one way to use your shatter effectively, you get the group. You could do a mean, I'm telling you, team wipe with that. For the love of God, don't shatter a single player. I see so many people do this. And please be careful. Be careful of what the enemy team has. I see so many Reinhardt's shield, Earth Shatter, and fucking Maywall. And the Maywall didn't even hit. It's like there. Or they'll shatter a Orisa shield. Or they'll shatter. A lot of people do shatter when the Reinhardt comes, but that's fine because you never know. But you gotta be smart about that. You gotta know. Hey, knock down the Reinhardt shield for me. Hey, kill that Reinhardt and I will shatter. Please, for the love of God, use Reinhardt's shatter effectively. A lot of people just like to shatter. And please, for the love of God, don't shatter when Zarya's Graviton's there. Use it after so you could have the people stay in that same spots too as well. So yes, guys, that is it for Reinhardt. He's a sexy ass beast. He's really good against a Brigitte, by the way. Or Brigitte. I don't know how to fucking say that name. I could care fucking less. She's not a tank. She's a piece of shit. And she's a fucking support.